Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Now, I don't know about you, but I am often on the lookout for some hidden gems in the indie community. Sometimes they are fun games that I like in the moment, but then there are others that stick out from the crowd and stick with me for a while. Games that I would hold up as some of the best in their genres. One of the games that I've had my eye on for quite some time released not too long ago. And by not too long ago, I mean it released like months ago, and now I'm just starting to get around to playing it, and you know how it goes. And that game is, of course, Grapple Dog. Grapple Dog is a hidden gem with a fun, cute adventure that combines a canine with a hookshot to make for one of the best combinations in gaming. But is Grapple Dog a substantial adventure with compelling gameplay? Let's go ahead and shoot on over and see if this game has good enough hook for its audience. In Grapple Dog, you play as a lovable dog named Pablo, the titular Grapple Dog, and set off to save the world by collecting ancient technology that was created by a great inventor. In the wrong hands, these creations can be dangerous, so it's up to Pablo and his friends to acquire these artifacts and save the world from those that want to use the inventions for evil. One robot, named Newell in particular, is after all four of them, and it's up to Pablo to stop Newell and his army of robots. Pablo is pretty simple as a character, but that just makes him more charismatic and lovable, because his interactions with everybody is just so wholesome. Pablo's friends are also a fun cast of colorful characters. They help with research and encouraging Pablo throughout the adventure. The story is just so wholesome, with some funny writing and creative ideas that keep me smiling through the whole game. Grapple Dog has a nice cozy aesthetic throughout the game. Not only are the characters cute and charming, but the environments are bright and colorful. Each world has a nice variety of themes. You got your beach levels, snow levels, lava levels, you know the drill. There's one world in particular that's pretty creative. The pixel art style looks great, and I love how simple everything looks. It really matches the tone and feel of the game. That's not a jab at the game. The simplicity of the art style coincides with the tone of the game. It's a cute, fun, simple adventure with a charming cast of characters and a nice variety of levels for you to traverse in. Grapple Dog, as you can tell, is a 2D platformer in the same vein as Mario's Sonic. The goal is to reach the flagpole, or in this case, a big old bell. However, Grapple Dog introduces interesting mechanics in both gameplay and level design that makes it stand out compared to other platformers. In fact, even like the way you play the game is different. The goal is kinda to get these gems scattered throughout the level. These gems help you progress throughout the game. For example, bosses at the end of each world is locked behind a certain amount of gems you have to collect. And because of that, the levels are laid out in such a way where it's not just simply go right. Instead, you have to figure out, little puzzles, find switches, find, where those switches go to, unlock certain doors, and traverse different layers throughout the level to figure out where these gems are. On top of that, the grapple that you get very early in the game is an extension of your character. Kind of like how Flood was with Mario and Mario Sunshine, except way better, because the grapple hook in this game is actually fun. The momentum you get from swinging around is incredibly addictive. It's just as fun as it looks. You can even hook onto enemies, giving you more opportunities in the air. The one thing I'll say about the platforming itself is the fact that the controls can feel a bit floaty. It's mostly felt when you're airborne, which could be intentional by the developers, but it takes some getting used to. Grappling isn't the only useful way to traverse, because ground pounding certain objects allows you to bounce off of them. It's nice that this game is color coded so that you know what to use for what object. The cool thing about this game is that it's not afraid to throw something new into almost every level to keep you on your toes. For example, there's levels with mushrooms you can jump on, or levels with giant water spheres that you can swim through. There's a nice variety of mechanics in each level, and it's not overabundant either. In fact, you can actually see what's coming up in the levels themselves, in the overworld. When you're on your boat looking for levels, you can actually see that each level has little details here and there that actually show you what the mechanics are going to be. I don't know if it has all the mechanics in that level, but it's really cool that you can kind of get a taste of what you're in for. Speaking of nice variety, enemies are plentiful with different forms and attacks. They aren't too hard to kill, but be careful because later on in the game, they can be nasty. Even the boss battles can be challenging. At the end of each world, you will encounter a boss battle. They aren't super amazing, but they do require you to use your grapple hook in creative ways. In total, there are 6 worlds, but in terms of beating the game, there are actually 5 worlds. You got your standard worlds here like beach, mountains, lava, and snow, with a very cool city one, but honestly, I wish one of the worlds would swap out with something more interesting. Although to be fair, some worlds do interesting things with their themes. So I guess there's that. On top of the standard levels, you also have bonus levels that are completely optional unless you don't have enough gems, because completing a bonus level will nab you 3 gems. The bonus levels at the end of the game can be rough, if you will, so be sure to collect them throughout your playthrough. Luckily, you don't have to collect them all. There's actually one small thing I have to mention because I love when games implement it, and that is the fact that you can explore the ship you sail in. There's nothing in video games that ruffles my feathers more than giving you a cool ship that you can't explore. Luckily in Grapple Dog, you have this ship with your crew and you can actually take the time to explore the ship and talk to other characters. There are no rewards or anything really to get from this, but the fact that you can makes me so happy. Overall, Grapple Dog is a great platformer with an excellent grapple mechanic that is both satisfying and fun. It's just a blast to go through this adventure with new mechanics being introduced to keep things fresh. The music in Grapple Dog was composed by Jazz Mickle. It's a pretty good soundtrack overall, but I personally didn't find it very memorable. However, I suggest that you listen to the soundtrack yourself, because they actually might be up your alley. Also, I do want to touch on the sound of this game. I really do like some of the sound effects in this game. I like that when you collect berries, there's like a musical sound to it. And when you collect a line of berries, it just keeps going higher and higher until, well, I think it just restarts. But either way, that's pretty cool. I really like that neat touch. That and just the sound effects in general are really good. But yeah, overall, the music is really good. Again, personally, just not my thing. Just didn't resonate with me as much. But it could resonate for you, so go ahead and check out the soundtrack. Grapple Dog is really fun to go through. It's a simple adventure, but there's a lot of heart behind it. The characters are fun and charming. The worlds, while they're not the most varied in terms of themes, they do a lot with those themes, like add in, cave levels and broken down castle levels and all this other stuff. They do stuff with the themes. They're just, in terms of themes, they're not as varied. You got your standard snow, grass, beach, whatever. And while the controls do feel great, they can somewhat be floaty, and especially in the air, which to be fair could be intentional by the developers, like I said earlier. You're going to spend a lot of time in the air, so allowing you to have that kind of control really does matter, and I think this game does a pretty good job at giving you control in the air. The music, like I said, isn't my favorite, but maybe it's your cup of tea. That's not to discredit the artist behind the music. There's just weren't any standouts to me. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Overall, the package here is solid. The platforming is good, the music is good, and you have a lovable cast of characters. With some setbacks, of course. I think I'm going to give Grapple Dog an 8 out of 10. It is a solid game, and honestly, if you like platformers, I highly recommend this title. It's fun, you can get a lot of time out of this, especially when you're trying to collect everything. And the new mechanics that they introduce in just about each level is so fun. It's so fun learning new ways to traverse this world. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. God bless.